Okay, this video is kind of an unexpected one, but I think there's some cool things worth talking about here. And this is on the new Intermountain ES44DC, which these just came out. I just got one of mine. I actually picked this up for the sole purpose of using it as parts to fix a older run here of the Golden Swoosh, which this one's called the Golden Swoosh because it has the yellow BNSF on it. So it's kind of a one-off engine, but pretty cool. And that's more why I picked it up, just because there only is one that's in that particular paint scheme. So I got this one to fix some problems that I had with this one. And the very first thing I want to talk about here is the packaging. I never really talk about packaging, but finally Intermountain has fixed their packaging. The big problem with a lot of these is that the older styrofoam packaging, like this, a lot of the models get damaged while they're in the box and in transit. It's not very good. So they finally went to the same type of packaging as pretty much what everybody else in the industry is now using. So you have this plastic sleeve that kind of comes off of this part here. And then you have the little piece of plastic here, and this is pretty similar to, MTH, Bachmann, Athearn. Everybody uses pretty much the same type of packaging. So the nice thing is that you don't have anything hitting into the sides anymore. So it also prevents the rails here from getting broken like they used to in the styrofoam packaging. So there are some detail differences also. Get this out of the way. Okay, so the one that I picked up here is 7649. That's the newer run. And then the Golden Swoosh here, 7695, is an older one. So some immediate differences, just taking a peek at the front of these here, is that you'll notice on the newer one, it already has the silver-tipped MU hoses. These were not originally silver. I actually did that on my own with some paint. And then also it has the little air hose here, which these do not have that, so that's an improvement. On the top, not sure what exactly it's for, but there's a dull strip of paint that's up the middle, which is not on the older run. And then also on the sides, taking a look at the trucks here, the newer trucks seem to be a little bit more shiny silver, whereas the old ones are kind of a little bit more dull. And then also taking a look at the back here, same noticeable detail differences here. The newer one has this extra hose here, which the older one does not. And then also there's some color differences here. I'm not sure if that's specific to these individual road numbers. Like this one has these little orange grab irons, whereas this one's the kind of radiator colored black. Some other differences, the newer run is noticeably less heavy. The older run is a lot more heavy, and then probably there's going to be also some lighting differences, which we'll take a look at here next. Okay, taking a look at the lighting here on the new one, some improvements here, though not quite perfect. First off, the thing that I first notice here is that they still neglect to dark out this door right there from the light bleed through. That's not supposed to be lit up. There's a pretty easy fix for that. You just simply take the shell off and you put a little small piece of electrical tape behind it, and then it blocks the light from showing through there. It's one thing that happens on a lot of different manufacturers, and it kind of irritates me to no end why they never bother to address that problem. But a very simple fix, but yet again they've ignored it. The other improvement is the ditch lights. One, they're actually bright enough that you can see them, so that's an improvement over some older Intermountains, and also they tend not to have too much light bleed through. The older run here kind of tended to look like a jack-o'-lantern. the whole entire thing was actually lit up on the front and back of it, and you'd actually have to take it apart and pretty much coat the entire inside of the ditch light housing with black paint. So at least that's something that you don't have to do with these newer ones. So that's pretty nice. Other than that, that seems to be the differences in the external features here. Did run it for a little bit, and it seems to be pretty typical and reasonably quiet, just as many of the Intermountains are. I did also notice that some with Intermountain have had a problem with the top speed. This engine, even at its top speeds, seems to be pretty slow. So I have a feeling that's some decoder settings, because I had the similar issue with 7695 there, and I was able to fix that through some CV settings. So I'm going to experiment a little bit with that here, and I'll be sure to post my findings.